Hi everyone, it's Kim Vapani, your vagina coach, and I have a 10-minute core workout for you. We are going to incorporate the pelvic floor, of course, and we're going to really fire up our core. We're going to use the Bosu. So you could do some of these without a Bosu, but I would say that the Bosu really ups the ante. This is a really cool, versatile piece of equipment that helps train our balance, helps train our core. We can use it for all sorts of different exercises. Today, of course, we're focusing on the core. So if you have a wish list or birthday coming up and would like to add this to your list, I highly recommend a Bosu. I'm also going to be using a weight plate. This one is a 5 pound, and I have an 8 pound dumbbell. And you don't have to use that same weight. You can use whatever weight you like. You can also do these without weight. I'm actually going to have a couple of weights close by me just in case I need to switch partway through. So I've got about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different exercises that we're going to do for 1 minute each. And we're going to have a 15-second break in between, and that will be our whole workout. So total time of about 10 minutes. And again, I'm going to have a couple of different weight amount. So I'm going to have maybe a 5 pound here just in case, because partway through in that minute I might start to lose a bit of my form and might need to reduce my weight. So I'm going to have something close by so that I can keep moving and just lower my weight down. So I think I'll grab a 5 pounder here as well, and we will get started. So 1 minute on, 15 seconds off, and we're going to get started. 8 exercises. So before I press start, first one, we're going to do a kneeling reach. Let me actually just show you quickly what the exercises are before I press start, since we don't have a huge ton of time in between. So the first one is we're going to do a kneeling reach. So I'm going to kneel on my Bosu, and I'm going to reach forward. You could have a dumbbell in your hands if you like, and I'm going to inhale as I reach back, and I'm going to exhale forward. I could have my toes down or off. Off makes it a little bit harder. Then I'm going to do an overhead weight transfer. It could be a dumbbell. I'm going to use my disc here, and I'm going to go up over my head, transfer that weight, and come back down, and just do as many repetitions as I can within a minute. Then I'm going to take a dumbbell in my hands, and I'm going to reach up overhead. And then the next exercise, I'm actually going to reach forward. And then after that, I have an oblique crunch. So I'm going to come down to the side here. And I'm going to have a weight in my hand, and I'm going to crunch in. Then I'm going to do froggy legs. So I'm going to come onto the Bosu. I'm going to bring my heels together, and I'm going to press up. And then I'm going to do V legs. So my legs are going to be out, and I'm going to be doing heels together. And then I will be doing swimmers to round it off. So we're going to be getting a little bit of glute activation in there as well. So that will be the series of exercises that we will do in this workout. Let's get started. All right, we are ready to go. I'm going to press start for the first exercise, remembering to come and kneel on your Bosu. You can have your feet down or elevated. I'm going to keep mine up. And we're going to just do a reach forward and a pull back. I think I've decided that I am actually going to use a weight. So I'm going to reach forward with my weight and then come back up. All right, here we go. Let's get started. Inhaling back, exhale up. So as we inhale back, sanding those glutes back, thinking about spreading those sit bones wide apart, lengthening that pelvic floor. And then as we exhale, we're thinking about the sits bones, the tailbone, the pubic joint, all coming together, kind of drawing in right into that center. and then lifting up into the body. So remembering our pelvic floor activation is a drawing together of the edges and a gentle lift. It's not just the squeeze. And of course, there's also the letting go. We have to remember that part. 5 seconds left. And we're done. My beeper is not going. Let me turn my volume up here. Next exercise, we are doing the overhead press. So I'm going to be kneeling. Let me come and face you. My toes are off the ground. I've got the weight in my hand. Up, transfer it to the other side and back down. So I'm not doing the core breath here. I'm just allowing my pelvic floor to respond however it needs to. It's good to do that every once in a while. Let the pelvic floor meet the demands of the task. We shouldn't always have to come in with a voluntary activation. It's great for retraining. It's great to do your pelvic floor exercise that way, but we have to make sure that we also balance that out with opportunities for the pelvic floor to do its job on its own without us interfering. And this is one of those opportunities. Nice, slow, controlled movement. So the imbalance, we have the balance challenge with the Bosu, but we also have the fact that I have a heavier weight in one hand for a period of time. And that movement challenges my core. It gets me, I have to stabilize that movement. Okay, the next one, we have an overhead press. So I'm gonna get my 8-pound weight here. And again, kneeling on my Bosu. Starting at my chest level, I'm gonna press up with the core breath. Inhale down. So I'm getting a little bit of shoulder activation here as well. Of course, because I'm balancing on the Bosu, my lower body, especially my inner thighs and my glutes, are also talking to me. Remembering you can have your toes down or up. I have mine up, and you can see the fact that I'm wobbling a lot with my movement, which is part of the purpose. I want that to happen so that I have something to control, some movement to control. Slow, controlled movement. Sometimes we can be guilty of going too fast through our resistance exercise, and we start to get momentum taking over. Remembering that time under tension, the amount of time our body is experiencing that load is important. And when we slow down, we can get more benefit. Now I'm going to do that same thing, except I'm going to reach forward. So that weight seems to be okay for me, accessible. Coming back into that same position, and now I'm reaching forward. Keeping my arms at shoulder height. So now I'm reaching in front of me instead of overhead, so I'm actually even having to control more movement with my lower body. You want to check in with your shoulders here as well and make sure that we're not hiked up to our ears. So keeping those shoulders pulled down. I don't know about you, but I can feel this in my lower body, in my core. Love the sensation. Remembering you can do any of these movements without any weight, and of course you can go heavier with weight if you want to as well. Okay, whew. Happy for that break. Next one, we are doing the obliques. So I'm coming down onto the mat, and I'm gonna have my hip sort of leaning on top of here. My bottom knee is down, top leg is reaching out. My arm is up here, and then I'm drawing in oblique crunches here. So again, I'm getting some shoulder work in that arm with the weight. Getting into my obliques, nice side body crunch. If you want to add the core breath here, exhale to engage as you crunch, inhale to lengthen as you reach away. Getting a little bit of activation on our supporting leg here as well. And even into the shoulder that is supporting me on top of the Bosu. It's getting heavier. Whew, I was ready for that break. Okay, now I'm gonna switch sides, making sure we're gonna stay balanced here. Getting into my position, and here we go. So any of these exercises you can do with or without the core breath, except for the overhead weight transfer. So you choose if you want to add it in or not. And just remembering that as you inhale, you really want to focus on lengthening, letting that pelvic floor open and expand and release that contraction. Ten seconds left. Okay. Done with the weights. Now we're going to go on to froggy kicks. I'll come on to a bit of an angle here. So bringing my hips and belly on to the Bosu, resting on my elbows. Ankles are pressed or heels are pressed together, and then I'm lifting up towards the ceiling and lengthening back down. So exhale to engage. Press your heels up. Inhale and lower down. And really, as your knees are spreading, think about your sits bones spreading wide as well. Draw the sits bones together as you press up. Sit bones lengthen away as you come down. Getting into the glutes here, of course, but also into a bit of the hamstrings, inner thighs, and also our low back. 3 seconds, 2, and I'm gonna do one more. Staying in the same position, the legs are now gonna come apart, and we're gonna be drawing in together and reach away. So keeping the legs straight, but we're gonna be drawing them into the midline. If you want the activation, add the core breath as you draw your legs together. Inhale and release as you let them glide apart. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Hang in there. 20 seconds to go. Really feeling this in my low back and my glutes. 5 seconds. And a welcome break. Last exercise we are doing, same position here, and we're gonna be doing swimmers. So just reaching those heels up towards the ceiling. If you wanna have one toe down. Oh, it says I'm completed, but I'm not actually completed. So we're gonna reach up, and if you wanna take a break in between with the toes down, you can. I'm gonna choose to keep my toes off and just alternate here. I'm not adding the core breath. I'm just swimming my legs. Of course, I'm still breathing, but I'm not doing the core breath here. Just flutter kick the legs. Got about 20 seconds left. Hang in there. 10 seconds. And we're done. Whew. All right, there you have your 10-minute Bosu core workout. We got our pelvic floor, we got our glutes, we got our low back, which is part of the core. We got our inner thighs. We even got a little bit of shoulder activation in there. Good job. Thanks so much for working out with me today.